Mr. President, we're very pleased to welcome you to ground zero of the communications explosion. We're in 65 different countries right now, and we're expanding as fast as we can.
WorldCom was always expanding as fast as it could, along with Bernie Ebbers' wealth. His holdings of WorldCom stock, his 500,000-acre ranch in Alberta, Canada, and numerous homes contributed to a net worth estimated at more than $500 million. During that spring of 2000, WorldCom boasted 88,000 employees, owned 60,000 miles of telephone lines around the world, and its revenues were on track to exceed $40 billion. Ebbers was not an excellent student. After flunking out of a few schools, he followed Foster to this small Baptist college in Clinton, Mississippi, the town which years later would house WorldCom's headquarters. Ebbers attended on a basketball scholarship. In 1967, he graduated with a degree in physical education. His first job, basketball coach, a profession he would soon leave for the world of business.
It's amazing what the Lord can do. Why did I make a decision at that time to quit teaching, which I loved, still love to this day, and coaching, and go work in a garment factory in the warehouse? That's really where I learned business. The garment business is a very low markup business, so you really learn to control costs.
Ebbers then decided to go into business for himself.
So I went and started answering the business opportunity section of the newspaper. And I almost bought a slack shack, which was a small store that sold men's slacks. I bought a KOA campground, even went to KOA school in Billings, Montana to learn to run it. And then one day there was an ad in the paper that said 18 motels for sale. And that started me in the hotel-motel business.
Ebbers, along with partners, started a management company for those motels.
They go in and manage the motels for banks or insurance companies, whoever had them financed, until they could turn around and find another buyer for them. They had done good.
So good that Ebbers was able to back Waldron and his partners when they started their long-distance phone company.
Next on The Big Lie, explosive growth ignites explosive problems.
Bernie felt like that it was getting out of control, that even he couldn't fix the problems that we were having.
We are excited by the remarkable opportunities this combination makes possible for both companies, shareholders, customers, and employees.
In the fall of 1997, Bernie Ebbers stepped into the enduring embrace of the media when he led his company to its biggest triumph.
I called my wife and said, "Have you had the TV on? He's bought MCI." You know, and the irony of that was just phenomenal, because I thought MCI was going to buy us all those years, and so it blew my mind. You know, I was like everybody else. How does a $6 billion gnat swallow the $22 billion tiger?
The answer? Wall Street. Bill Esri is the former chairman and CEO of Sprint.
You know, Bernie was attractive to many people on Wall Street because he said what he thought, you know, off the top of his head, and sometimes it was maybe on the extreme side or something like that. You know, they liked that, but he seemed to be delivering results with his acquisition strategy and the stock price that enabled him to keep doing that. And so they became the darling of Wall Street, and that really affected a lot of the destiny of the industry.
With his stock price high, Ebbers kept busy.
It was nothing to get an email about an acquisition or a bulletin on one that we merged with someone, and the next Monday we merged with someone else.
WorldCom, I don't think, had ever really made tremendous attempts to integrate businesses. So if they were acquiring more than just a customer list, that was easy. When they start acquiring networks, 5,000 people spread across the U.S. and Europe, and all of the billing systems we had and the complexity of our business, it wasn't something they understood.
Deanna Barajan-Cole joined WorldCom from MCI, where she had run customer service. Cole's job was to keep track of what her customers wanted. But because different services, such as long distance and internet, were not coordinated, it wasn't easy.
You could never tell what a customer was billing because none of the systems talked to each other. So it was just a disaster.
At the start of 1999, Bernie Ebbers was CEO of one of the biggest companies in the U.S. WorldCom, fresh from its buyout of MCI, would announce the biggest acquisition of all time by the end of the year, its purchase of Sprint. But for all of those broad challenges facing the company, its CEO clung to a decidedly different approach to managing for the future. He didn't. WorldCom's business became increasingly complicated with every acquisition, but Ebbers still ran the company as though it was a small business in a sleepy southern town. It was a management style that would ultimately prove fatal.